Hi, in this video I am going to show you the keyboard shortcuts and Figma's menu file panel. My advice to you, whenever you start learning a new program, start by learning hotkeys. It will make your work easily and faster. To see all the hotkeys in Figma, you can open them here. Hover over the question mark and select keyboard shortcuts. Or you can press this keyboard shortcuts. Now I am using Windows and all the hotkeys I showed are for Windows. Ctrl instead of Command, Alt instead of Option. Or open them through Figma's menu here. Guys, these three methods are all the same. Whatever you like, use it. The panel opens at the bottom of the screen. Here you can switch between tabs and study what actions the keyboard shortcut is responsible for. You see the shortcuts I have already used, they are displayed in blue, and the shortcuts I have not used yet are displayed in white. For example, in the Tools tab, I don't have pencil tool used. Let's press Shift+P. You see it is immediately highlighted in blue color. It tells us that this combination has already been used. And immediately the pencil tool becomes active. We can draw something with it. It is very convenient. You can see what new keyboard shortcuts Figma is adding. Try, press and explore. If you master this, it will speed your work up a lot in Figma. Also, I would like to add that Figma is based on the US keyboard layout by default. But some of the keys in these shortcuts are not available. But you can change your keyboard layout from any open file, and your preferences will be applied to your Enter account. Click the Layout tab. Use the drop-down list to update the layout. View keyboard layouts by hovering over each option before selecting it. OK, you can close this panel by pressing this cross or the same key combination Ctrl+Shift+question mark. Now let's get to know main menu of Figma. Open it through drop-down. Quick action Ctrl+/ works like a normal search, only inside Figma. Type in what you want, like pencil, and done. To delete unnecessary items, select the Move tool and select and delete them. Through the File panel you can create a new file or open a sketch file. Very useful shortcut keys Place Image Ctrl+Shift+K can be opened via menu file or through the toolbar here, but keyboard shortcuts are more convenient. This allows you to import images or videos in bulk, but for the start plan we can only add images. You can then choose exactly where you want to place each image. Since Figma considers images and videos as fields, you can add them to existing objects. For example, you are creating a design for your application and you want to insert your images in the previously drawn objects. It can be a rectangle, circle, square, whatever. Let's click the shortcut keys Ctrl+Shift+K. A drop-down window opens, select the image and open it. This plus appears in the upper left corner of the image. Now click where we want the image to be inserted. For example, here the image is inserted as fill. Now let's select a few images at a time and select them into the circles and into the bottom rectangle. Now you can see that the number of selected images is displayed in the circle. We can click and insert them into our drawn object as fill. If you want to insert an image in its original size, you just click on the workspace anywhere you want to insert it. And on the right side on the Properties panel we can see their original size. And if you want to put them all in at once, then just click the Place All button at the top. You can also just click and drag the image. This allows you to add it not with the original size, but with those you choose yourself, for example, like this. You can save a local copy of the file in Fig format, Figma Design. It is convenient to back up your files. For example, you want to save your design file. Let's add some comment to it. In the last video we have already familiarized with the comment. Select Add Comment, click here for example and write something like this. Note the file will be named as the named our design file lesson 4. OK, go to the file, say local copy. Here we see the format in which the file is saved, Fig and Save. Now we can open it in another account or send it to someone from our team. I switch to my other account first and just drag and drop the Fig file here. But all the comments we left in the file will not be displayed, as Figma will open it as a new file, and it will not be connected to the original. It will not display history, comments and components. We are not familiar with components yet, but this is for future reference. Just remember, this file is imported as a new file. Let's close what is not needed and come back to our file. Let's go further, say to version history, Ctrl+Alt+S. Those who have starter plan can only view the file version history for 30 days. Those who have professional or organization plan can access the entry version history of the file. Let's see how it works. We can enter title, add describe what changed, or see full version history. We can also open it via drop-down here. Figma saves your work to the file's version history after 30 minutes of inactivity in the file. Figma also auto-save your file in case you lose your internet connection or Figma crashes. Near to each version you see version name, description of change made, time and date of version creation, the name and avatar of the primary participant. For example, let's see what we did here. The prototype was created here. This shows what access we have to the start plan is view only. By clicking here, we can add title and describe what changed. We can also do the same by clicking on the plus above. We can also restart this version and start working from here. It is very convenient. We can also make duplicate and work in the duplicate. It says the original will remain unchanged. We can just delete version info or just make a copy link and share it. And so we have already seen show version history. We can open here via file panel or here via drop down. Now let's look at export. This is very interesting because everything we create we want to save or share our file or just put it somewhere like social networks. Figma has several export options. The first one is export in bulk. You just need to highlight your previously created design project on the workspace. To fully select a design project, not a single layer, we can select it in the layer panel. On our workspace, it is surrounded by a blue border, and in the layers panel, all layers that are selected are highlighted too. Or you can select without going to the layer panel, select any object and just press right mouse button and here select layers. And then the name of your frame. I have it called Screen 1. We will talk about frames and groups a little later. And so we have completely selected our content. Go to the File, Export or press these shortcuts. But Figma tells us no selected layers, have export settings, click plus in the export section of the Properties panel to add one. OK, here is our Properties panel, here is the export section, here the plus. Click on it and through minus we can delete. So click plus. Here we can select the required export format. Figma offers these formats. PNG Portable Network Graphics. It is a raster graphics format is used for images with transparency. Compression preserves the original image's quality, but the file size will be much larger than a JPG export. JPG, Joint Photographic Groups, it is a raster graphics format too that does not support transparency, and when compressed the quality worsens, but the file size will be smaller. SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics, that's vector graphics, it can be scaled to any size without impacting image quality. Also support transparency. This format is used more for icons and logos. PDF, Portable Document Format. I think you know what this format is. I would add that this format allows you to share complex and interactive layouts. And here we can select and customize the size scale. By default, Figma exports all resources as DPI72 images. We can modify here, but only for PNG and JPG formats. As you can see, for SVG and PDF formats, Figma only supports export to 1x. You can also choose X here if you want to scale proportionally your content. W allows to scale by width. H allows you to scale by height, and you can choose default values or enter your own. And here where suffix you can enter text. It will be added to the file name like this. This helps to organize the exported resource without having to change the layer name. It is very convenient. Here we can click on preview to see what your selected content will look like. Click and see what we are going to export. Let's see what is in here. Ignore overlapping layers. This option is marked in checkbox by default. But if, for example, we want to add an object outside our frame and disconnect this checkbox, only the part that is overlapping with our selected frame during export will be visible. Okay, the next include bounding box, available for text layers only. Since the text is in my frame, we can apply this function to the text. Let me show you more clearly. I take the text tool, create a frame for it, and insert some text here. See, if this parameter is disabled, we see the text from edge to edge. The bounding box we have highlighted is not disabled. When enabled, then look, there is an empty space at the top. That is, the bounding box will export the entry 1 we create for the text. Let's make bounding box smaller, leaving only 2 lines of text. We can only see the content that enters the bounding box. Text that has gone beyond the edges of our bounding box, which become invisible, and it won't show up on export. It can be very helpful sometimes. This button contains the name of our exported content. Click on it and save it to your folder. Let's now look at the second export option. For example, you want to save only some elements from your design, like this rectangle and these circles. Select the rectangle, hold Shift and select the circles. Click here plus and see that they will be exported on 2 separate layers. To enable previews, go here or click Shortcuts, Ctrl+Shift+E. And the last thing we are going to look at in today's lesson is export frames to PDF. It allows us completely save all our design file and all the layers that go into it. Let's copy this screen and let's go here. Export frames to PDF. It will be saved as the names of our design file. Let's open and see how it's saved. We see that there are 2 screens. We can do the same thing if we click on any empty space in our workspace and click the plus across export. Here we see the name of our file and preview. Click the button and we get the same thing. Thanks for watching my videos. I make them not very long, so you can easily memorize everything. Subscribe to the channel, save the video to your bookmarks and give me some likes. Guys, see you in the next video.